Good morning. Welcome to my floor again. Uh, I am trying to start off each morning reading a passage from the Havamal, the words of Odin. And there was one that really stuck out to me this morning. So I'm going to read it real quick. Do you know how to scrape and carve? Do you know how to read and interpret? Do you know how to draw and paint? Do you know how to test? Do you know how to ask or obtain? Do you know how to sacrifice to the gods? Do you know how to send or dispatch? Do you know how to slaughter? Bigo Zoom. Better to avoid asking than to sacrifice too much to the gods. Always a gift seeks a gift in return. Better to avoid slaughtering than to slaughter too much. This Thund carved before humankind's origin. He who came back when he rose from the deep. Fucking. I thought that passage was very, very interesting because it brings up a lot of things that you could apply as like practical skills. Um, do you know how to paint? I don't necessarily know that that's super important. Do you know how to sacrifice to the gods? That's as important as each individual makes it, of course. I personally don't put a lot of stock into that, but that's because despite my very, very Norse influence in the way that I try and live my life, I'm not like a pagan. I don't believe that the gods are real. Um, but I think that there is wisdom to be found in the way that they went about things, because even when the European Christians came into contact with the Vikings, which is a very broad group of Scandinavian individuals. Um, they found them to be very well groomed, well kept. They treated their slaves well, for the most part, and I don't really have a picture in my head of how they did everything because I wasn't alive back then, but if they subscribed at all to the actual teachings of the Havamal, then I could imagine a bunch of decently nice individuals, maybe not the raiding parties, but a lot of things that the Havamal covers are basically how to not be a dick, and I like to think about that on a little bit of a deeper level every now and then. Specifically in the mornings, because you're fresh up, brain just booted up if you want. Um, if you want to describe it like that, anyways. So I like to think on stuff like that, and the bit that got me was, do you know how to test? Do you know how to obtain? Um, because I don't know how to test, uh, nor to obtain. Not in the ways that I want to, anyways. It's when I think about moving forward in life, I think about the avenues that I would take to greater success, and unfortunately, it feels as if it's a pool that I don't know how to jump into. Um, even the YouTubing thing, I don't know how to edit videos, so when I do get a computer, it's gonna be a real rough start. Uh, I don't know how to obtain what I want, and I'm thinking on ways that I can change that, because there's no point in thinking on your issues if you're not going to change things about them to solve them. So, I don't know. Just food for thought before I do some push-ups, because that's what I do. 5 minutes of talking and 1 set of push-ups. That's how I roll. Ugh. I feel as if I started this channel on the wrong premise. B, I can't do push-ups with you under me. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Because I talk more than I work out. But I don't know. I just thought that passage was interesting, and the bit about testing and obtaining really stuck out to me. I don't know what that last little bit is about the like the guy Thund. I don't remember what that's about, but maybe if I brushed up on my Norse mythology. I have that book, Norse Myths by Neil Gaiman, or Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. That's a great book. I highly recommend giving it a read. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I've read that through a few times, but it's been a minute. So I would need to go back and see if it mentions a Thund. Sounds like a dwarf. The name of a dwarf. Thund. Or maybe a Jotun, but... Oh, speaking of Jotun, that's another game I need to go back and beat at some point. I never beat it, because I got stuck on a boss for a while and then forgot about the game for a while. But if you've ever played Jotun, that's a really cool game. It's like a top-down roguelike, I guess? Kind of roguelike? I don't know what roguelike technically is. I don't know. Buttons. And you hit things with your little character. They don't tell you what none of the buttons are. You gotta figure it out yourself. And the entire game is in Old Norse, which I thought was really cool. I need to learn Old Norse. I would really, really like to. There's in the index here of the book, there is the Havamal in Old Norse, and I just love the way that it fucking sounds. Gatir aller gangi fram skodask skili skignask skili dviat ovest erat vita var ovinir sitya afleti fira. That's just the first passage, and I probably butchered most of the pronunciation there. But I just love the way it sounds. I was talking to my buddy the other day, and I was like, if there's any language of magic, if magic was ever real, if we were able to actually alter the fabric of reality with our minds, I feel like Old Norse would have been the best conduit for that. It sounds, I don't know. There's a weird part of me that's like, that's the language that feels right. That's what sounds right, you know, in my head. Like, that's what we should be speaking. It sounds more natural to me than English does, which I don't know why. English is my first language. But anyways, that's been a set of push-ups and a massive, massive morning rant. So there you go. Bye for now.